Good time zone, everyone. Welcome to my new YouTube series, Post Game Palooza, a deep dive series where I play through many post-game storylines in the beloved Pokemon series, region by region, and rank them. If you don't know me, I'm the Bulba Boy. I'm a queer and neurodivergent content creator, and I stream 3 times a week on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/thebulbaboy, where I play various indie and Nintendo games. I also upload my VODs to an archive here on YouTube. But enough about me, let's get to the games. What inspired me to start this series? During a Memory Loss Monday stream, a series where I played games I had previously played before but had forgotten due to memory loss, I was replaying Pokemon Sun and Moon. The topic came up of whether I was going to play the post-game. It wouldn't qualify for Memory Loss Monday content if I was playing a part of a game I hadn't played before, and therefore wouldn't be recovering my old memories.
And I was like, oh, this doesn't count as Memory Loss Monday if you never played the post-game. Well, yes, correct. But I was thinking, would you guys think this is a good idea if I did a series where I play through the post-games?
In fact, I mentioned that I never really played Pokemon games beyond their credits, besides playing the Delta episode during my Nuzlocke stream of Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, or the Pokemon Sword and Shield Crown Tundra and Isle of Armor DLCs. This had flabbergasted chat. How dare you call yourself a Pokemon fan if you had never once explored the Sevi Islands, or been to Black City, or White Forest? Okay, fine. I'm a fake fan. I only played these games because I like the little guys. Show's over. Of course, this got the gears spinning in my head, and I knew instantly what I had to do. Cram my already tightly scheduled life with more work! So I spent what little free time I had left to play through a ton of Pokemon games, just so that I could get up to the cusp of the end credit scenes, so that I could play the post-game content here on screen, just for you. I feel this is an excellent time to mention that I'm not playing every single Pokemon game in chronological release order. Working a full-time job, streaming 3 nights a week on Twitch, maintaining my mental health, catching up on my massive backlog of TV shows, cuddling, tormenting my silly cat Cashew, and getting a good sleep score in Pokemon Sleep. Where's the time? Not to mention, a lot of post-game content is pretty similar. So I decided to just explore games region by region instead of chronological order, and save myself the work by using save files from games I had streamed previously. This led me right to our first game, and only game, of the Kanto region, Pokemon Leaf Green. Growing up, I played Pokemon Fire Red more times than I can count, but not once did little old me decide to play the Sevi Islands. That kid also managed to play the games with a single over-level Blastoise, so what do they know? Another goal of mine in these playthroughs was to use Pokemon I've never really used before, never used often, or never thought of using. And that's why I chose Bulbasaur! Okay. Pokemon I've never used before except Bulbasaur. I decided to have a themed team. The first thing on my mind was pasta. Pasta. I was a little hungry, craving some mac and cheese. I named myself Chef.
My name's Jeff.
My rival was the health inspector, and my Bulbasaur was named Fiore, the Italian word for flower, after the flower-shaped pasta.
Fiore, Lasagna, Peachy, Fusilli, Macaroni, Farfalle.
Finishing up the rest of the game seemed simple enough. On Cinnabar Island, I accidentally said yes to Bill and lost about a half hour of gameplay, because I realized I couldn't get back to Cinnabar without playing around the first island. You visit these first few islands relatively early. Right! I forgot that you could do that because I accidentally started going to the island and didn't realize you couldn't just leave. That you had to do the islands. So I had to delete my save file back like an hour. Oopsie toodles. Getting through the Elite Four wasn't too much of a challenge. Agatha and Lance were the hardest, but mostly because I thought that 10 revives and 15 hyper potions was enough to get me through. With enough patience, and save states, I beat the health inspector and I was done. I flew on my weird 3-headed, not quite flightless bird to Cinnabar and seated myself next to an old friend of mine. Who are you? Oh, right! That leads us up to now. All post-game content is streamed on my Twitch channel and edited later for you folks here watching on this YouTube video. If you ever want to catch the action early on, give a follow. Self-promo over. First, I met our dear friend Bill, who invited us on a very luxurious trip on his friend's speedboat to the wonderful archipelago known as the Sevi Islands. Here we meet Celio and his giant computer that looks a lot like a Metagross. If playing on original hardware, this very computer is what allows trainers to bring their Kanto Pokemon over to Ruby and Sapphire through some very complicated, inaccessible means with lots of wires. Fun. Bill asks us to bring a meteorite to his nameless friend who runs the game corner. The island next to this one's called Two Island. There's a guy there that runs a game corner. He has the thing for rare rocks and gems. We keep in touch being fellow maniacs. So, can I get you to deliver this meteorite to him?
Yeah.
Chef, if you're going to the Two Island, please take this.
Yeah.
It's a pass for ferry services serving the local islands. It will let you travel between the islands 1, 2, and 3. But don't go to any other island, or they'll kill you. Oh, you should have had this too. Oh, sweet. I'll catch you later. Say hi to the guy for me. He didn't even tell me the guy's name. He's just a guy at the game corner. It is here that I bring up an important thought that I'm sure no one else has had before. The Geneva Convention in video games. Well, I pointed this out to Nana, and Nana thought I was being silly, but does this here not look like a red cross? Is Pokemon, like, not violating the Geneva Convention by showing this here? They thought that this looks too much like this was probably just a light on top of the computer, and that makes sense. But this you can't avoid. You can't claim that's a light. Just saying. Yeah, that's for sure it. Yeah. While still on one island, I take it upon myself to do some exploration. I don't have Rock Smash. Heartbreaking. Oh my god, I don't have Rock Smash. I'll have to come back out here with a Pokemon with Rock Smash. Along the way, I started feeling bored with how easy the battles were. I'm like way over leveled for this, now I'm bored. Then I realized that the first 3 islands didn't technically count as post-game content. This isn't post-game? But it feels weird doing the rest of the Sevi Islands without having streamed 1, 2, and 3, because, like, I didn't do this the first time either. The first time I played either. But to me, I had never played the Sevi Islands, so it still fit the spirit of the adventure. I mean, it's not considered post-game, but to me it's post-game because I never played it.
If I haven't seen it, it's new to me.
For the most part, the stream consisted of me and my over-leveled team fighting trainers. Just like the good old days of me, my over-leveled starter, and a member for cutting and surfing. Along the way, we run into the Ember Spa, a scenic retreat along the Kindle Road. It is here I take a dip in the water, fully clothed. It is here that I also realized my folly. This is where we acquired Rock Smash. Rock Smash wasn't a move that could be acquired earlier. My memory loss is justified. Huzzah! I teach it to Macaroni after some Libra waffling and grab some little goodies I most certainly won't use later on my journey. I have vitamins on my side. While surfing, some important discourse is brought up. What is the surfing sprite based on? One community member thinks it's a Snorlax. I postulate that it's either a Wailmer or a Kyogre. Well, it's got little feet in the back. You see those little feet? It also kind of looks like Poliwrath. I'm not quite too sure. What do you think? While visiting Mount Ember, we also have an important stimming session using our favorite onomatopoeias from Fire Red Leaf Green. Love the weird-ass onomatopoeia in Gen 3 games. Yeah, they're so silly. Gawa, gawawa, oof, kwa. Our delightful stimming session is cut short by running into some scheming Team Rocket members. I already kicked your ass. Over here. We'll try digging here. That treasure the admin's been talking about should be here. What the? You're in the way. Get lost. They blow me off and I go on with stimming. Oof. Qua. Then after a grueling, actually a walk in the park, crawl up Mount Ember, I run into Moltres? It is here that I learned my memory served me wrong, and that Moltres was always here on Mount Ember in this game. I had incorrectly remembered it being a part of the Burnt Mansion, which everyone agreed made much more sense than it being just off Victory Road like in Red, Blue, Yellow. I didn't know that Moltres was over here. I thought Moltres was somewhere else, but I must be thinking of its Gen 1 location. Victory Road, right.
Shrapnel.
I always thought that Gen 1 Zapdos and Articuno are located at the end of special dungeons designed for them. Moltres is just like chilling randomly in Victory Road, yeah. For some reason, I thought it was in the penthouse of the burned mansion. It would make way more sense. Yes, exactly. I characteristically blast through Pokeballs to no avail at catching this stupid, spicy chicken wing, and go back to a previous save where I just tossed a Master Ball at it the old-fashioned way.
Wow!
Oh my god, I caught a Moltres! And give it a rather rude and not YouTube-safe name. In its face because you can. Okay. What pasta is face? The Italian kind. Well, I must enjoy the lack of name censorship while I still can, right? That's it. That's Mount Ember. From here, we head to 2 Island. There really isn't much to this island. The only main staple here is the old woman who lives on the Cape, whom of which I headcanon as my dear friend Jill, only because she happened to appear in chat at the same time we learned about the old woman on her cape. Plot? What's that? You alright? What's a plot? Also, hi Jill, I love you. There's an old woman who lives in a cottage out on the
Who
Cape.
are you texting 50 times a day?
IDK, my BFF Jill.
Tell your BFF Jill that I'm taking away your phone.
TISNF.
She gives the eye to Pokemon. It's a bit unnerving. Jill is the old woman who lives on the Cape. Have you visited the game corner already? It's no good to go alone. You have to take a friend along. I don't have friends.
Would you get out of here?
Hi.
Boing, boing. Have you tried the jumping game? The Pokemon you can enter boing. Some go boing, and some go boing. Did you know that? Boing.
Another feature of the island is the game corner. This game corner is much different than the one on Celadon City. Instead of a silly excuse for childhood gambling, this game corner involves multiplayer games with your friends via link cable. Unfortunately, this is a feature we will never be able to experience. Everyone laments not growing up with friends who played the game at the same time. Such is the curse of adulthood when you are able to make friends with people just like you on the internet, but the experience you could have had with these people is stolen from you. Because I never had any friends who also had wireless communications. God same. I even had the fancy cable hookups, I just didn't have friends who were playing the same thing. During solo play, the only experience you really get with the game corner is the man explaining that his aptly named daughter, Lostelle, has gone missing and asks us to go find her. Now, where's Lostelle gotten to today? She always brings me lunch every day right about now. Also, I fucking love this song. What if something's happened to my Lostelle? Please help me find her. Please go search 3 Island. A rude biker with actually correct opinions on how sad this game corner is comes in looking for his fellow rabble-rousers, only to learn that he is on the wrong island. These islands are confusing. Though before heading to 3 Island, we meet up with the old lady who teaches Fiori Frenzy Plant, which also forces me into Libreing painfully again. A choice is made, and I move on. Off to 3 Island we go. We immediately are met with a scene of the rabble-rousers harassing a woman. Leave that old woman alone! But no way whatsoever to assist her. Hey, lady. Fork over some spending money.
Who are you? I'll call the police.
Hey, cab lady. Fine. We don't want to help you anyway, lady. We're the Kanto Rider Federation. My bike's wimpy, so I have to make exhaust noises myself. The rest of the island seems to also be overrun by these punks. So we do what's right and deal with the problem ourselves instead of calling the authorities. Hell yeah. You'll be losing money to me, but... Nah, buddy, I think you're gonna be losing money to me. Biker Goon! His name is literally Goon. He levitates! My bad. Aren't you from Kanto? You should be on our side. I mean, you shouldn't be terrorizing people, but whatever. That's better. Stop fooling around. What's the matter with you? You're not hot like that. Totally uncool, man. We invited the boss out here, but you had to mess it up. You embarrassed us, man. Boss, I'm telling you, you gotta do something about this kid. I've been watching you, and I'd say you done up. What are you, their friend or something? I guess you'd be battling me in their place. Hell yeah. Cue Ball Paxton.
He kind of looks like a Weezing, actually.
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Okay, I should have put out Fusilli. Got it. Well, just in case. Should have thought it was gonna be Muck. It would have been funnier if you had two Weezings and both of them just self-destructed. All right, enough. We'll leave like you wanted. We'll be happy to see the last of this boring island.
With the power of pasta, we knock the gang down a peg with ease and run those wimpy punks out of there, returning the island to its original idyllic, albeit sleepy state. It is then we are thanked by a citizen who gives us a lead on the whereabouts of Lostel.
You must never ever go out to the berry forest alone. Why?
Because you'll get lost.
After exploring this actually kind of boring town, we stroll on off to Bond Bridge, where we have to be quiet for some reason. Though along the way we beat one of the most based Pokemon trainers in the entire game.
I love the little kids in the tubes.
Yay, yay, Pokemon!
Me too, kid, me too.
What happens now?
You give me my money and you're whited out, and you go.
Did I just win or did I lose?
Sorry, kid, I kicked your pants.
We also meet another notable trainer.
Oh no, don't come here. Please stay away from me.
You better get your hand lotion ready. Of course she is. Dave, tell the truth, yeah.
Okay, you won. Now will you please go away? A Pokemon fit through my swimsuit. I can't get out of the water.
Poor thing. Copper-toned dog strikes again.
Anyway, the bridge leads us to the Berry Forest, where we find
The trees are yellow. Welcome to the berry forest. Be friendly and share berries with others and Pokemon. In Soviet Berry Forest. Basic bitch.
berries. And that's it. Nothing else. Not a thing.
Blech.
Help! A scary Pokemon appeared there a little while ago. It kept scaring. It made Lostel scared. I'm too scared to move, but I want to go home. Oh, here it comes again. No, go away. It's scaring me.
Okay, we do find Lostel being harassed by...
I'll kick your ass, child predator. A little overkill, but I don't care.
It is our sworn duty as a Pokemon trainer to keep children everywhere safe. Upon returning Lostel safely to her father, this leads to some discourse on nominative determinism. For example, this guy's name is Lostel's daddy.
Daddy didn't know you were scared and in trouble. If you name your kid Lostel, can you really be all that upset when she gets lost? I wondered if, like, that's actually a legitimate thing in the game, like, in the universe. Everyone has names that are themed after their gym type, like Misty and Brock and Roxanne and Rourke and etc. Unless those are just nicknames they come up with. You know, you like you legally have to change your name to something that's related to your type. What's that? You're saying that this is for me? How did you know that I love rare rocks and gems? You sure know how to make a guy happy. He still doesn't have a name. He's just Lostel's daddy. Pokemon Universe cheerleaders use stage names. Yeah, like, who the hell names their kid Bugsy? Bugsy feels like the name that you would use for, like, a henchman. Bugsy. Get the gat, let's go. Sorry, son, we named you Rocky, so you can only ever be a rock-type cheerleader. I'm afraid we're going to throw away your drum set.
The first part of the Sevi Island storyline ends when returning to Bill and Celia, who have finally finished their computer project, enabling a feature we cannot actually enjoy. But we do appreciate when someone gets to finish a passion project. Well, must be nice. In order to progress to the other islands, we must talk to Professor Oak.
Chef, I have another important favor to ask you. Recently, there have been sightings of many rare Pokemon species. I'm talking about Pokemon that have never been seen in Kanto. I would love to go see things for myself, but I'm much too old. I have lumbago.
Oh, my lumbago.
Since I can't do it, Chef, I'd like you to go in my place.
Oh, every chef's fear, the health inspector.
The #1 enemy of the pasta chef. Yeah, I heard that. Gramps, what's with favoring Chef over me all the time? I went and collected more Pokemon and
Being
batched
whiny
you.
as always,
Just
begging
let
for
me handle
Professor
everything.
Oak's favor.
I know. Of course, I need your help too. Now I need to see both your Pokedexes.
And that's done. Now these units can record data on a lot more Pokemon.
Yeah.
Now, Chef and Inspector, this time you really must work towards filling your Pokedexes. I urge you to make them the best and most complete of all time. Truly, this is a monumentally great. Wait, calm down. Don't get so excited. I'll get the Pokedex completed. Don't you worry about a thing. I think I'll try looking around one island first. Anyway, I'm out of here.
Hey, try not to suck any on the way through the parking lot.
Ah, you have a tri-pass. Would you like to board with Sea Gallop? The one island, I guess. Since that's where the inspector said he was going. Alright, now we're in official post-game.
And here is where the official post-game begins. Before traveling to any other islands, it's important you head to Mount Ember again to learn more about the secret dealings of Team Rocket. This is where we learn the first password.
Whoa, punch through all last. Let's go treasure hunting. Any treasure we find, we haul back to the warehouse. Understood? Oh. And what are the passwords at Rocket Warehouse, I mean? What, you forgot the password? There are actually two. The first one is Goldine Need Log.
Goldine need log? What the heck?
And the second one is...
The second password isn't given to us
Yes,
after
Snoop's
Team
been
Rocket
listening
finds us
in.
eavesdropping.
You've been eavesdropping on us, haven't you? Oops, let me pick up my eaves. Develop amnesia conveniently and forget everything you heard. What a setback. We'll have to regroup. You, don't even think about taking a step inside here. If you know what's good for you, don't even think about this. But luckily, I have memory loss. Second of all, I don't think. Ooh, a hole.
After Team Rocket scrams, we enter a cave full of boulders. And Slugma.
Slugma. I love Slugma.
Even further into the cave, we find some ominous standing pillars with Braille written on them.
The hell is this?
Even though I had never played any
Oh.
post-game content before, everyone including my clueless self knows of the ubiquitous presence of Braille and Reggies in Gen 3.
It's a ruby.
Today was the day I was going to earn my rite of passage by learning Braille for a video game. When translated, the message in the same room as the ruby states, "Everything has meaning. Existence has meaning. Being alive has meaning. Have dreams. Use power."
Beautiful.
Whatever the hell that means. After leaving the mysterious cave with the ruby, we meet up with Celio and give him the ruby to appease his special interest. He then asks us to find the matching gemstone on one of the other islands. He gives us a rainbow pass, and we head out to the other islands.
Whoa! Whoa! Send me to 4 Island, baby.
A very friendly face to greet you upon starting out on 4 Island is...
Oh, f*** you. It's the health inspector.
The Health Inspector!
Hey, Chef. What are you doing here in the Sevi Islands? You should quit copying me, you know. Anyways, I already got my Pokemon egg, so I'm done with this island. I bet you don't even know about Pokemon eggs.
Luckily, he doesn't force us to battle.
By the way, I saw someone we both know on this island. Why don't you go look around if it makes you curious? He's smelling you. Yeah, because I smell like spaghetti. It's hard work being a chef. Chefs are always sweaty from all the hard work they do.
On this island, there is another daycare that I clearly have no interest in.
I also just love this Psyduck looking at himself. He's all wall-eyed and a cutie pie. Oh, Psyduck.
2 dudes who teach body slam to my macaroni, and Lorelai's house full of plushies.
I heard that if you beat her, every 10 times you beat her, she gets more dolls or something. It takes like 250 times for her to fill her room completely up. I love that.
Is she just like me for real? Beyond the small village is Icefall Cave. Much like Rock Smash, Waterfall is another HM to be taught in order to progress. Much more liberating later, if Fusilli learns Waterfall. During an encounter along the way through the cave, we realize how much Seal looks like the autism creature.
Don't look at me with those autism eyes.
Not much farther do we meet up with Lorelai, who helps us fight some Team Rocket goons.
Keep your filthy hands off the Pokemon in the cave. Do as I say or you'll have me to answer to. Shut up, lady, and leave us be. Don't let your glasses get all steamed up. Chef, what are you doing here? No, we can catch up later. Right now, I need your help. Help me kick these poachers out before they do anything else. They've been catching Pokemon here, then selling them off. Are you ready? You take that one, please.
What? Who says we can't do what we want with the Pokemon we catch?
With Lorelai's help, we learn some more details into what Team Rocket could be planning here on the islands.
Damn, it's cold.
So despicably weak. You, tell me, where have you taken the captured Pokemon? I'm smashing your ring once and for all.
No way. I'm not telling you that.
You won't confess, we'll deep freeze you. My Lapras is furious for what you've done to its friends. Go, Lapras Ice Beam!
Okay, I'll talk. The Pokemon are in the Rocket Warehouse on 5 Island. There, I said it. We'll be going now. But I doubt you'll ever make it into the Rocket Warehouse.
Chef, thank you, but this is awful. I was born and raised here on these islands. I had no idea that those horrible criminals were loose here.
I didn't realize it until
After picking up the game a week later and wearing the same shirt, I come back to one island and discover that it is one of the few islands I can surf from.
I can surf here.
Some exploring ensues.
My boy! I love Tangela. Now that's some spaghetti right there. I don't want to kill it. It probably won't become a part of my team because I can't evolve it in this gen. But that's pretty darn close!
Spaghetti. You are spaghetti.
I am spaghetti now. Oh, I'm so happy.
I also returned to 3 Island
The bikers ran off and Lostel was found safe. Everything turned out for the best.
and meet the prospector, who gives me a nugget.
Hey there, how's it going? Did you hear I was struck gold? You remember that I was prospecting, didn't you? You can't begin to imagine just how happy I am. So I'll show you. This is for you.
Yeah.
That's a nugget. I can't give you any nuggets of wisdom, so that'll have to do. The trainer is better than most IRL gamers. What do you mean by that? Seriously, is there anything in this grass? Oh, they touch grass. Oh, I get it. Now, I won't be adding this to my party, but I also kind of want to name it after pasta. What's that one pasta? The cascatelli. It's kind of shaped like cascatelli. Why do we call it tortellini? It does kind of look like tortellini. Kinda. Have you seen cascatelli before? Hold on. So this is a pasta that Renata bought me. This is cascatelli. You can't tell me that's the same thing as a Dunsparce, right? It's a cascatelli.
The adventure continues on to 5 Island, another island that I can surf from,
And I can surf here.
much like 1 Island. Off the island is
Resort
Resort
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous, where some very rich trainers are. I also meet a man who offers me an egg.
You travel all over the place, don't you? Not driving your Pokemon too harshly, are you? Let me take a look. Oh, impressive. You treat your Pokemon right. I think you can be entrusted with this. Please, I'd like you to have this. Fortunately, you don't have space for this in your party. Huh? He wants to give me a Pokemon. I'm really curious what he's gonna give me. It's gonna be like a level 5 Togepi. Now I'm much more... Yeah, exactly. Because there's actually things to do post-game now. Like, you know, here I am trying to hatch an egg, and I just saved a rich person from a cave. I was right, it's a Togepi! I was so right. Like, why the f do I want a level 5 Togepi at the end of the game? It's literally just for the sake of filling your decks, then I don't care.
The citizens of the tiny 5 Island warn me that once Peaceful Meadow has been overrun by criminals, some rather familiar criminals.
Goldini log. Another password's needed to open the door.
No.
Right.
Since the warehouse entry requires a second password, we push on. Just to the right of the warehouse is an area called Memorial Pillar. There we find 3 dudes who are very autistic about birds.
I'm the eldest of the Bird Brothers. Best thing about birds? It has to be the beak. Why the beak? I have a special interest.
I like birds.
I'm the middle kid of the Bird Brothers. The best thing about birds? It has to be the wings. I'm the youngest of the Bird Brothers. The best thing about birds? Has to be the down. But birds go up.
Fills me with happiness when bird Pokemon beg playfully. Okay.
Bye!
One would think that such a somber sounding place as Memorial Pillar wouldn't contain 3 dudes just really obsessed with birds, right? Well, somberness resides just to the south, where a man stands among a tower of stones, a grave for his beloved Pokemon. Hello, your Pokemon look healthy. This is where I buried my Onix. It was named Tectonix. That's a awesome name. Here lies Tectonix is engraved on a boulder. There's a lemonade placed as an offering in front of the grave. Alas, I do not have a lemonade. That's why you want me to get a lemonade. I rush to find an offering for such an iconic Pokemon. I return with lemonade in hand, and once the offering is made, I'm met with kind words from Tectonix trainer. Thank you. That was my Tectonix favorite drink. I don't even know you, but your act of kindness uplifted me a little. Can you please take this as my thanks? Aww. Please be good to your Pokemon, too. What's TM42? That can't be it. It was 42. Facade? I feel like Facade is kind of a weird TM to give when I'm at your Pokemon's grave. He gives us Facade, showing that he is putting on a happy face, despite the sadness he feels for Tectonix. Oh, putting on a happy face in the wake of Onix, gotcha. Well, thank you for sharing Tectonix with me. That's really sweet, though. Before leaving Five Island, I head to Lost Cave. After some ambling around, Chet helps me realize that the rocks on the cave work like the minute hand of a clock. Think about a clock. There's hands on a clock. There's numbers on a clock. What time is it? 9:12. How does this clock tell me it's 9:12? Not in real life. In the room. 12:30? This doesn't look like a clock. How many rocks are there? 6. Oh! This is genius! 3 rocks to go right, 6 rocks to go down, 9 rocks to go left, and 12 rocks to go up. Following this pattern, and I run into a suspicious woman named Selfie. What do you intend to do with me? Nothing? What? Oh, Selfie! Oh, I was afraid that you meant to harm me. No? Well, thanks for the money. I'm so glad that you happened here. I grew rather bored of walking, and I'm feeling fatigued. May I ask you to take me home from here? Okay. Thank you. You may go now. Okay. Oh, do I know you from somewhere? Bitch! Oh, but that doesn't matter. I'm exquisitely bored. Please hear my wish. I wish to see a Pokemon, a darling Magnemite. I want to see one right away. Please make my wish come true. She's rather rude. I have a Magneton! And after how short she is with us, I hate her. I decide I hate her. I'm not gonna go catch a Magnemite just for her. I don't care. Onward to Six Island. Here on Six Island, we are informed that this isn't an island young people would enjoy. There's nothing that young people find exciting here on this island. Plus, this is a good place in terms of nature and history. Relax and enjoy your stay. He's right. There isn't much to this island, though much lies to the south when you venture down the water path. Beyond the path is a neat, spiraling mountainous region called Ruin Valley, which contains many hikers and ruin maniacs. This can only mean one thing. There must be ruins nearby. What a radical thought. The door to the ruins has these strange patterns engraved on the outside. I don't know what they mean, though. It's time for Braille. I'm glad I pulled up my Braille sheet. There are several dots on the door. Alright, here we go. At said ruins, one must use cut in order to open the door, informed by the Braille message. Deep inside the cave, I'll show you a dotted hole. More Braille, giving directions on which holes to drop down through. Dropping far enough into the holes, I come across exactly what I came here for, a sapphire to match the ruby I got earlier. I reach for my prized gemstone triumphantly when... And a guy. I guessed right. I was right in tailing you. Yoink!
I knew that there was a sapphire here, so it belongs to me. Sell it to Team Rocket for serious money. Don't glare at me like that. You want it back? Why don't you go get it after I sell it? I'll even tell you one of the passwords to Team Rocket's warehouse. The warehouse password I know is yes, nah, Chansey. I'm done. Don't think badly of me.
Some jerkwad steals it from me, telling me the other Team Rocket password before skedaddling, leaving me gemless. Yes, not Chansey? Another absurd password. Before leaving this cave, another message reveals itself, of course, after some grueling braille study. Let the two glittering stones, one in red, one in blue, connect the past. Two friends sharing
E. Yes, two friends sharing P.
power open a window to a new world that glows.
The next world waits for you. Hell yeah.
Well, in the moment, it makes no sense to me. It makes sense later on. The past that is connected is the ability to trade from older games. The window to a world that glows is Celia's computer, which allows you to bring your Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon into Gen 3. To the north of Six Island's sleepy little town, the water path leads up to an equally sleepy area where some questionable things are happening.
My height is 67 inches on the button. I know it is precisely because my neighbor measured me. He's 5'7". So your neighbor, where? Oh. Wanted the ultimate horn. Like the human horn? Oh.
Another interesting feature of this island that I didn't realize in the moment was Pattern Bush.
You know something odd about all these parts? Kind of spelling out something, isn't it? Would you like to know what it is since you'll never know?
Water.
I mean, give me a second. Thank you, Sanity. Yeah, I won't be able to tell unless I look at a map. That doesn't look like anything.
After being pointed out by the community from above, the bushes resemble a circuit board.
Oh, okay. I noticed. Bugs! Bugs on the circuit board! Wow.
Bug Pokemon are the major spawn in this area, thus being bugs in a computer. Very clever, Game Freak. I'm watching you. Beyond Green Path, the water continues to lead to some more trainer battles. And Outcast Island. I see why it's called Outcast Island, as a lone outcasted Team Rocket member stands in front of a cave. He doesn't contain much in terms of intel, and I leave it there for the night.
It's time to boogie. And then, of course, as I mentioned, I absolutely fucking love... Yes, I fucking love sex. Thank you. Thank you, Renata.
Upon reloading the game a week later, I'm finally prepped and ready to see what glories await inside Altering Cave. Absolutely nothing.
You can try lurking around this cave. Thank you, I will. I bet there's absolutely fucking nothing in here.
Nothing whatsoever.
Yep.
Okay.
Is this where I need to be with the two stones? No?
Nope.
Well, there's nothing in here. There's something, just not an item. And I have a repel active.
Nothing brightens a dark room like. Time to open the window.
Ah, it's a Zubat! Oh, that's great. Literally, it's just a Zubat cave? What's the fucking point?
However, what content is something is the return to Five Island Meadow and finally busting down Team Rocket's shenanigans before anything can come to fruition.
Time to enter the island. Chef entered the two passwords. Goldine, need log. Yes, nah, Chansey. Whatever the hell that means. Burger Wrap and Ho-Oh.
It is then revealed to me that after all this time, what those silly-sounding passwords truly mean. They're palindromes.
They're anagrams? Goldine, need log. Palindromes! I get it now!
After some much confusing spinning through the warehouse, the realization that I can't get Magnezone in Gen 3.
Upgrade. That's how you get a magnet. Wait. Oh, I need a trade to do that, don't I?
I gotta upgrade. Oh wait, no, upgrades for, I need a metal coat. Wait. How do you evolve Magnezone? Oh wait, Magnezone was... I don't know what Gen 4. I don't know or care if what I'm doing is right or wrong. I just put my faith in Giovanni and do as I'm told. And that is how evil rhetoric spreads. You bitch! Only I'm allowed to use a hyper potion. We radicalize the mind of a rocket admin through the power of love and pasta. You're doing things according to your beliefs and morals. I understand now. And maybe you can come back in through there. Why don't you get rested and refreshed for what lies ahead? The admin after me outranks me thoroughly as a trainer. You better steel yourself for one harsh challenge. Oh, okay. And poorly convince one of Giovanni's fanboy disciples that Team Rocket is no more. That's quite enough of you playing the hero, kid. Spreading lies about how Team Rocket is disbanded. Such an obvious attempt to cause confusion in our ranks. Fortunately, we're not so ignorant to fall for the lies of a child. And now I'll show you how scary an angry adult can be. You were too strong. That's Giovanni's badge. So it's true, Team Rocket really has disbanded. Yeah, man. What are you doing? We will abandon this warehouse. But don't think it's over. I won't let this be the end. We'll find Giovanni, and I will resurrect Team Rocket. I will. Until then, farewell. Alright. Whatever. What I find disappointing about this plot is that it just ends there. No pushback. No further threats. Just an empty comment that Team Rocket will return someday. It goes to show that our role is negligible, and that the events of the Sevi Islands weren't really that important in the long run. In fact, the only important thing inside the warehouse is that jerkwad who stole our sapphire. Gideon!
And thanks for visiting.
Almost managed to sell the sapphire for huge money. Then you just had to come along and blow the whole deal apart. There's no forgiveness for you. Well, you're an asshole, Gideon. What kind of f***ing name is Gideon anyway? F***ing Bible guy. Yeah, we gotta beat this guy because he stole our rock. We painstakingly did Braille to acquire this beautiful rock, only for this asshole to steal it from us. We show up that cringy grifter and get our sapphire back. Shows him we learned Braille for that rock and he didn't. If I can't sell it, it's worthless. Go ahead, take it. Yeah. I would have given you money. And then I would have taken the money back after punching you. Alright, we got the sapphire back. We head on over to Seven Island. Seven Island, Quest Island of Infinity. What does that even mean? That's word soup! And we learn the biggest mind-blowing secret of all time. These islands are called the Sevi Islands because there are 7. I didn't know that! At least that's what the young people believe. The truth is, these islands are so named because they are said to have been made in 7 days. This is God's chosen island. Sevi ends in 7. I didn't even realize. I thought they were just called Sevi Islands because it sounded cute. This is just like Triumph Forks. I didn't realize the Triumph Forks were the Triforce until, like, the day that I beat Wind Waker. Seven Island boasts its relatively untouched land. Despite featuring modern technology in the form of a Poké Center, this island has been left virtually untouched in its natural state. It can be a little difficult to hike around because of that. Untouched, but it has the technology of the Poké Center. And a trainer tower? Seven Island is also known for its absurd number of annoying couples. And the more important Tenobi Key, where I show off my excellent spatial awareness, totally solving the puzzle on first try. Oh, I understand. I f***ed myself over. Hold on. I get it now. I did it again. Hold on. A rumbling is heard from far off. Let's investigate. On the way, we run into one of the most important NPCs in the game. Dance, dance, Chansey, dance. You join in too. Dance, dance. Chef, dance the Chansey dance. Dance, Chansey, dance. Dance, Chansey, dance. There, you're all chipper now. Lucky. Isn't it nice to enjoy life's smaller, sillier moments? In search of the bizarre rumbling, we head to Dilford! Dilford Chamber. I'm in the Dilford Chamber! Let's go! Some inappropriate hijinks ensue
Where them dilps at?
as my mind wanders.
Anyway, yes, I got. Oh, the letter J. Today's stream is brought to you by the letter J. What's a word that starts with the letter J? Jerk. Can you use it in a sentence? Jerking off that dilf. R is for rub, as in rubbing that dilf. E. T is for touching that dilf. Z? Z is in zucking that dilf.
Leading me to missing out on literally one of the rarest spawns in the game.
I, as in intimacy with that dilf. That's the rare exclamation point. Oh, was that the exclamation point? Oh,
Chat goes ballistic as I pass over the exclamation point unknown inside Viapoix chamber, misidentifying it as the letter L. My general lack of interest continues to baffle chat as I shrug it off and continue making my silly, inappropriate jokes and making fun of the chamber names.
The Monian chamber. I'll be Moniing in his chamber. V as in, I'm running out of verbs. Vibing on that dilf, thank you. Perfect.
In fact, I show incredibly little interest in this area that otherwise would have been the only place in all of Gen 3 that would allow trainers to find Unknown. I realize there is very little left to do from here besides returning the Sapphire to Celio. And away I go. We fulfill Celio's dream, though anticlimactic to us, is the apex of this little man's life. We also quickly head back to the horrible grifter Gideon, who gives us a delicious lore drop.
What, you again? You're not Giovanni's kid, are you? No, that can't be right. Giovanni's kid has red hair. You don't have a reason for bugging me. Leave me alone. Red hair? Is there anyone in this game with red hair besides the admin girls? Not someone from this game. Oh.
Insinuating that question mark from Gold, Silver, Crystal is Giovanni's kid. It really makes a guy think. With the Sevi Islands complete, it only leaves one final rite of passage, alongside translating Braille. Cerulean Cave.
Alright, Cerulean Cave, let's go.
While Cerulean Cave was something I had done before in Let's Go Pikachu, I had never done it in Fire Red Leaf Green, and it seemed like a fitting end to stream to catch the most powerful Pokemon in the entire game. Ditto.
Ditto?
I mean, Mewtwo.
Oh, there it is.
I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
Meow.
What painstakingly takes me close to an hour of whittling down its health.
That is very, very over-leveled.
Leads to constantly reliving the hell of Mewtwo using Struggle with such little health left. Over and over again.
Damn ya ass fat, what are your pronouns?
Water.
It's okay, Jigglypuff. Ow! You slapped me! It's okay, Jigglypuff. What did you just trip on?
With much ridiculous bargaining, no avail, I pull out my final gambit, saying please.
Please, Mewtwo. I said please! That was the magic word! Let this be a lesson to you all. Say please. And things will come your way.
Congratulations, you won.
And Mewtwo joins the pasta aisle as Regati, and all is right with the world. With the most powerful Pokemon in my possession, and Team Rocket anticlimactically staved off for the time being, I do what every trainer must.
Alright, I always end
Visit their mom.
at my mom's house. So we're gonna go. Thank you. Thank you, Mother. I'm gonna stand next to my SNES. Oh, my my NES.
As is tradition, I save the game all comfy cozy, tucked in the bed of my childhood home.
I used to do this as a kid. I would tuck myself into bed. Thank you. This has been a game.
And thus ends our first adventure in post-game Palooza. How does Sevi Island's plot hold up? When it comes to adding content to a game that had negligible post-game content, Fire Red Leaf Green does a great job at adding additional richness to the world outside Kanto. We meet many characters living peaceful, simple island lives, enjoy the backstory of some more major NPCs such as Lorelei, and get to test out our wit with some fantastic spatial and linguistic puzzles that recent Pokemon games seem to lack. Translating Braille was a fun challenge for sure. When it comes to being someone who isn't a Pokédex completionist, the Sevi Islands does not cater to trainers such as myself. I could definitely see it being boundless hours of fun for the completionist trainers, as many of these islands are the only opportunity to find rare Pokemon such as Unknown or Togepi. Many of the islands feature Gen 2 Pokemon like Heracross and Dunsparce. Well, not for me. I appreciate the merit and respect the hours of gameplay that may add for some trainers. The one thing that doesn't hold up after all this time is the supposed online content, most notably the Game Corner. With my gameplay being that of a lone soldier, I will never get to enjoy the experience of connecting my Game Boy Link cable with a school chum and bonding over playing silly minigames with our Pokemon teams. Some of the features on the island are also placeholders for events that never came out anywhere besides Japan. These limited experiences sour the replayability. I can only imagine how much fun those experiences were back during the game's release and lament my FOMO. This is why I'm giving Fire Red Leaf Green's postgame a 6 out of 10 star use. Though with nothing to compare it to, this rating may be subject to change. Thank you for watching my journey through the Sevi Islands, and I'll see you next time for Postgame Palooza Episode 2, as we explore the postgame of Heart Gold Soul Silver, with another fun team and many more jokes to be had. Thanks for supporting my content. I stream 3 times a week over at twitch.tv/thebulbaboy and hold weekly community events in my Discord server. Supporting independent LGBTQ and neurodiverse creators is free. Drop a follow, a sub, or a like. Share with a friend. And if you haven't heard it yet today, you're never alone and Bulba loves you. Bulbye!